The Joker is one of the most iconic and popular villains in history.
Me?
And we're not just referring to the history of comic books when we say that. Batman's archenemy stands up alongside the likes of Professor Moriarty, Darth Vader, the Wicked Witch of the West, Cruella de Vil, and the Devil himself as one of the most recognizable bad guys in fiction. As a result of his popularity, there have been countless adaptations of the character across various media platforms. As well as appearing in comic books and graphic novels, the Joker has appeared on television, in movies, in video games, and in all manner of merchandise and paraphernalia. In terms of mainstream versions of the character, the ones that have appeared in movies are undoubtedly the most well-known, and it's pretty amazing how fresh the character has remained in each depiction, and this video is going to run through them in chronological order, discussing each version and how they differ from each other. Welcome to the evolution of the Joker on the big screen.
Gosh, yes, Batman.
Cesar Romero. The late Cesar Romero was the first man to portray the Clown Prince of Gotham in live action on the big screen, reprising his role from the Batman television series in a 1966 movie. In the movie, the Joker teamed up with the Penguin, the Riddler, and Catwoman to form the United Underworld.
Holy sardine!
A quartet that posed a very significant threat to Adam West's Batman and Burt Ward's Robin. This version of the Joker was the lightest of them all, which was fitting with the era and the tone of the television series and movie in which he appeared. He was unashamedly camp, wore a bright pink suit, and was more like a pantomime villain than a ruthless criminal overlord. He first appeared in the TV episode The Joker is Wild, and made his last appearance in the episode entitled The Joker's Flying Saucer. In between those, he appeared in 20 more episodes, as well as the aforementioned movie. As he appeared more, his schemes and gadgets got more and more crazy and elaborate, and he even had his own version of Batman's utility belt, which held devices with names like Strangling Screamers in it. Incidentally, Romero refused to shave his mustache for this role, so the Joker's white face makeup was simply heavily smeared over it whenever he played the character. He remains one of the most memorable versions of the character to this day, in spite of the fact that he last appeared 48 years ago.
You ain't got no future, Jack.
Jack Nicholson. In 1989, the man who was clearly born to play the Joker took on the role of the character, and he did so brilliantly. That man was, of course, Jack Nicholson, and he made his one and only appearance as the character in Tim Burton's Batman. The Joker had appeared on the small screen in numerous animated series since Romero's version had last been seen, but this live-action, big screen return was long overdue. Nicholson's Joker still possessed an element of camp. You could clearly see the influence of Cesar Romero, but Burton and Nicholson took the character down a much darker road. This version was violent and temperamental, and even when he was being light and funny, those moments would be juxtaposed with acts of physical brutality. In the same vein, his bright purple suit and constant sickly smile were in stark contrast to the drab and very gray version of Gotham City created by Burton for this movie, something that gave the character an edge and made him even more unsettling. His line, "Have you ever danced with the devil by the pale moonlight?" has become one of the most iconic in cinema history and defines Nicholson's interpretation brilliantly. Many still argue that this version is the definitive Joker, but that's simply a matter of opinion. Mark Hamill. Although this video is mainly focusing on live-action adaptations of the character, no such video would be complete without mentioning Mark Hamill's animated version of the Joker. The Star Wars legend has loaned his voice to the character since 1992, starting with Batman the Animated Series. But his credits extend to a variety of other DC-based cartoons and indeed 3 movies. The first movie in which Hamill's Joker appeared was 1993's Batman Mask of the Phantasm, which got a theatrical release, but he has also appeared in the direct-to-video Batman Beyond Return of the Joker from the year 2000, and he'll reprise the role in the eagerly anticipated Batman The Killing Joke, which will also go straight to video in the summer of 2016. In addition to those productions, he's voiced the character for various theme park attractions and video games. Hamill's Joker clearly took influence from both Romero and Nicholson's portrayals of the character, combining laughter, campness, mayhem, total crazy schemes, wickedness, and dark humor brilliantly. He looks very different to any version of the character that came before him, although he does still wear the signature purple suit, and Hamill has received almost universal praise for his voice work with the character. Heath Ledger. The Dark Knight trilogy was a huge success. Christopher Nolan brought a level of gritty realism to the world of Batman that had never been attempted before with Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises between 2005 and 2012. But the highlight of the trilogy was the late Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker. His sole appearance came in The Dark Knight, in which he was depicted as a sociopath and a bringer of pure chaos. He was completely reimagined, and his appearance was far more rugged and shabby than that of any version of the character seen before. And frankly, he was the darkest, most unpredictable, and most violent version as well. To prepare for the role, Ledger reportedly locked himself away in a hotel room for weeks, perfecting his mannerisms and totally immersing himself in the character. Some people have theorized that getting inside the head of such a maniacal character contributed to Ledger's death, but that of course is just a theory. Ledger's passing came just before the release of The Dark Knight in 2008, but he received universal praise for his performance and even earned a posthumous Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for it. His iconic line, "Why so serious?" will forever live on in cinematic lore. Jared Leto. Next in line to play the Joker on the big screen is Jared Leto, a man who'll put as much into the role as Ledger did back in 2008. He's already terrified his fellow cast members by remaining in character at all times on set, and he's famously sent them some very strange gifts, including bullets and dead animals. Leto has the responsibility of taking on the role in the DC Extended Universe, starting with 2016 Suicide Squad and potentially in several other movies going forward in the franchise. This version looks more different than any that came before it, with his slicked back green hair, silver teeth, and body covered in tattoos. He looks as though he revels in the pain of others more than other versions, and fans and critics are completely divided about him based on what they've seen of him in the promotional material and trailers so far. Some claim it looks as though Leto and the people behind Suicide Squad are trying too hard to be different. It remains to be seen how he'll be received once Suicide Squad is actually released, but the likes of Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger are tough acts to follow, and Leto will need to have brought his A-game to his performance in order to garner favorable reviews. All we can say is that we remain hopeful of this drastically different version being as brilliant as his predecessors. Thanks for watching our documentary about the evolution of the Joker. Which version of the character is your favorite? Our good friends over at the CBR YouTube channel decided to tackle this question head-on and have produced an amazing animated video pitting all the Jokers against each other in a hilariously awesome Joker debate. Click the preview here or the link in the description to check it out. And don't forget to tell them that Screen Rant sent you. That's all for us. Are you looking forward to seeing Jared Leto's take on the character? Let us know in the comment section below. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.